everybody. Welcome to The Walking Dead episode 9 mid-season premiere episode entitled What Happened and What's Going On. Never have they titled a episode so perfect. You'll find out why. Okay, so what's it say? After the recent trials, the group has faced a slight detour, which could be the solution they've been searching for. So what happens? They recap the episode previously on The Walking Dead, and they show everything that happened in this season so far with people eating people, cops running people over with their cars, cops getting hit by cars, Wes stabbing a chick with a pair of scissors, getting shot. Um, and then it starts off super weird, and it didn't stop being super weird. Um, they showed a bunch of flashbacky images and started off, and you're just like, what's going on? What's that? No clue. What happened and what's going on is the best title for this episode. Period. Um, Basically what happens is Noah convinces them to go to Virginia because that's where he wanted to go, that's where he's from, that's where his family is or was. They had walls. Beth was gonna go with them. Shows him telling Rick that. And so that's why they end up going there. They separated the group, and what was really weird to me is they separated Glenn and Maggie. Maggie, your sister died. We're not gonna give you your boyfriend, your husband. They got married. We're not gonna give you your husband to comfort you, even though that seems like the right thing to do at that time. Um, so they go to Virginia. They're in a car. It's Noah, Rick, Glenn, Saush, no, not Sasa, Michonne, and Tyrese. They're all in the car. They're driving. Tyrese is telling Noah about his father and how his dad basically made him used to make him watch the news to know what's going on in the world, even when he was 7 and the world was going through some harsh times. Um, Noah tells him that it sounds like his dad would have liked him, and he lost his dad in Atlanta. They get to the Virginia thing. To the comic book readers, it seemed a little like they were at the Survivors. Also, spoiler. If you haven't read comic books and don't want to know what's gonna happen, skip forward about a minute or two. If not, stick around. I'm gonna tell you a spoiler that you might get mad at me for. Okay, so in the comic book, there's the 4 groups: the Survivors, the Saviors, uh, Hilltop, and the Kingdom. So it looks like they were at the Survivors community with the gate and everything. The gate's locked up. The walls are high. There's forest all around it. Some of the houses are a little burned. Okay, so welcome back. If you skipped the spoilers, um, yeah. So they get to this gated community, and then a couple of the house you can't really tell, but there's a big gate and just a lot of forest around it. They cut through the woods just to be safe, Rick says, and where do they get to? Uh, excuse me. Yeah, so they go through the woods, and there's kind of like barbed wire, but not barbed wire, more just like wire ropes tied around trees. And they asked, this your people? And he said, well, they talked about it. So apparently his people did some stuff here, and they booby trapped the forest. So then they get there, and they get on the road, and there's a zombie. They kill the zombie, or no, there wasn't a zombie on the road. Um, they keep walking, and just looking down. There's a zombie that got run over or something, and then stayed in the sun for a little too long. like a big grandfather cuckoo clock was in the middle of the road. That was kind of weird. They get to the gate. Glenn hops up on this little bar and peeks over. After Noah kind of knocks on the door and it seems clear, so they all hop over. And then Noah runs a little bit, which is kind of surprising because he still has a limp, but he kind of adrenaline runs it up and then starts running a little faster. They all chase after him, saying Noah, Noah, Noah. And then you find out that this place is trashed. Noah breaks down into tears, starts crying in the middle of a fork. It's like a fork in the road, or more like a trident in the road that goes this way and it goes straight. So it's this way, here, and like that. And he breaks down the middle crying because all is lost, and he kind of knows that. And then Tyrese stays with them. Michonne, Glenn, and Rick go on a quick run around the community to a couple houses. They didn't show the logo, but basically Michonne finds they go to some collector's house, I guess, is what I got from it. Michonne stomps on like a frame, and it's basically a New York, like a signed New York Yankees jersey, and she says, "Hey, it's a clean shirt." Um, and then she finds some garbage bags in the garage, so she goes to them. And Rick and Glenn are kind of just posted up on the car talking. Glenn grabs a baseball bat off collector's kind of case without a top for baseball bats, thing like that, and it has where you put the fat part and the skin part. And he takes that, and they're talking about how he would have killed um, Don, and how Rick was unsure, and everybody's unsure. And Michonne kind of gets upset and says um, how they've been out here too long. They've basically been on the run for too long, going crazy like Michonne was before. So she kind of thinks about staying there. Noah and Tyrese run off to, or staying in the community. They could cut down the forest and basically build around it and everything. And Tyrese and Noah have a conversation. Well, not really, but Tyrese basically tells Noah about his troubled past and how he wanted to die and how he went into the in the prison when he killed all those zombies in that basketball court, and how he just wanted to die then, but they didn't kill him, and how he saved Rick's baby, and how that wouldn't have happened if he um, wasn't alive. So then it cuts back to or they run to Noah's house because Noah wants to see what happened for sure. They show his mom's skull bashed in like right here, and he pulls a blanket over her. Um, Tyrese goes in first through some of the rooms. One of the doors closed and hears a zombie in there, so he's kind of like, oh shit. And then he goes into a different room and sees some pictures on the wall of Noah and his brother, because he had a twin brother. And then it cuts to Michonne and Rick and Glenn talking about how they could stay here. Don't you want another day of trying to survive? Because she talks about how Washington's only 100 miles away, and Eugene thought Washington, even though he lied about Washington, for some reason he thought Washington would be the safest. And looking around at this time, there's like a hole in the wall, and there's a bunch of zombies, like arms blown off or like severed off, and like legs missing, torsos, and arms missing, shoulders and chest and torsos and heads and everything. Like it's really weird. It's pretty severed. Um, so then Tyrese ends up getting bitten on the arm because he's staring at the pictures of Noah and his brother for too long, and he starts like shaking in the eyes, like he's getting mad for no reason, just looking at these pictures, or going crazy or whatever. So then they bite him in the arm, and this is when the episode gets super duper weird. Noah comes in, grabs the a model airplane off the roof or the ceiling, hanging down, stabs him in the face, sees Tyrese's arm spit, and he's gushing blood, and he runs to go get help to get Rick and them, and then Tyrese got the fever, and he hides under a desk, so he's like under a desk, kind of shaking, holding his arm like this, bleeding out, and he starts staring at a radio, so he gets a flashback of watching the news or listening to the news about people chopping people, and it sounded kind of like World War II-ish, but Russian. It was really weird. So then he starts having flashbacks of dead people. He sees, what was that stupid kid's name? The annoying kid from Terminus that wears a hat all the time and was with, or the one they grabbed, Tyrese and Carol, and then Tyrese beat the shit out of him, lied about it, that wanted to kill the baby. And then he sees Bob saying, and he's just having, they're talking to him about how, what would have, or the guy from Terminus is telling him what would have happened if you really killed me, if you want to bitch about it. He really called him a bitch. And then Bob tells him that's bullshit, and this is the way it's supposed to be, and everything's supposed to be, like, everything's supposed to be the way it was done. Like, everything happens for a reason, basically. And then you see those creepy ass little girls that the older one killed the younger one, remember them? And they tell them it's better like that now. And then you see the governor. And then you remember, oh yeah, Tyrese was with the governor for a little bit, and he told him you would have done whatever you would have did. The bill has to be paid. And then so he just keeps having flashbacks, and they're kind of arguing with them about everything happens for a reason. It's better this way. You gotta pay the bill. What would have happened if you didn't do this? Him staring at the radio, and the radio, old news stories that never really happened, I don't think, at least. Just a super weird episode. Um, Rick, Glenn, and Michonne agree to go to Washington. It's only 100 miles away, type of thing. It could be what they're looking for. It could be a place. It could be messed up like this as well. And then you hear Noah scream for help, and somehow he got trapped under like a rocking chair type of thing on a porch with a whole bunch of zombies around them. And then this, I had a problem with this. So Michonne has a katana sword, and she swings it at the zombie, and the sword breaks in the zombie. Now, why do I have a problem with this? Well, the katana is a samurai sword. Samurai swords are the strongest swords that will survive forever. Read books, samurais um, had the same sword, and they sword fought with the same sword for hundreds of battles unless you died. So basically, a katana sword is kind of indestructible no matter how many times you use it. But hers comes off at the handle, it looked like. So I guess that could happen, but I don't know. I just thought that was really weird. And then, basically, they end up chopping Tyrese's arm off, trying to save him. He's in the car, they're driving back. This part was weird too because Rick is driving and kind of gets stuck in the mud. Tires are turning, and it looks like he would have backed out where they parked in the woods. There was a wreck with the zombie in a car, and then a car, or like a pickup truck with the camper shell in the back. And for some reason, Rick is stuck in the mud, and then he's not stuck in the mud. He hits the truck with the camper shell, and a whole bunch of zombies come out without arms and torsos, and one was just a torso, or not legs, I mean, and they're kind of just on the roof. One's on at it, like, and then they back off and drive away down the street, and Tyrese kind of got his head like this on the window, looking out the window, staring at the sun. So here, if you want the full Tyrese effect, stare into the light. That's basically what he was looking at. And then he kind of turns his head this way a little bit, and he sees Bob in the passenger seat, Beth driving the car, and then those creepy little girls are sitting next to him, and they say it's better this way. And then Tyrese is dead. They bury him, and they have a combat shovel, it looks like. And it's over. It ends with them burying him. What's happening, or what happened, and what's going on is exactly how I feel right now. 23 minutes after the episode. What just happened? This is a super weird mid-season premiere. What are they gonna do next? Stick around and find out. Subscribe for a new episode, a new recap next week. Every Sunday, The Walking Dead is on TV. I will do a recap. Also, sometime this week, I will try to do a recap of the comic book series, volume 22. No promises, but I'm gonna try to. I kind of got a lot going on. But yes, thanks for watching. Blah blah blah. Peace.